If your fashion wish list lives rent-free in your brain, you need to be on Poshmark. With Poshmark, you're shopping millions of listings from thousands of closets, each curated by someone with their own style. Vintage finds, designer pieces, and everyday staples all in one place. Search for your favorites or let the discovery come to you. Poshmark makes it easy to find what you actually want to wear at prices that feel like a quiet win. Download the Poshmark app today and use code PODCAST10 when you sign up to get $10 off your first purchase.
Welcome to Higher Health, the podcast that elevates your understanding of health beyond the conventional into a realm where mind, body, and spirit align. If you're ready to rise above the noise of traditional health approaches and connect deeply with your inner wisdom, you're in the right place. I'm Dr. Elizabeth Rogers, a heart-centered, Harvard-trained epidemiologist, researcher, medical intuitive, and transformational health and longevity expert. In this space, we explore the profound journey of health and well-being, where every choice aligns with your highest self. Together, we'll unlock the true essence of being healthy, empowered, and whole. Welcome back to Higher Health with Dr. Elizabeth Rogers. And speaking of Rogers, what does Mr. Rogers have to do with being healthy? That's exactly what I've been guided to talk with you about on today's show, and it is an absolute honor. Truly, I cannot think of anyone who represents what being healthy is all about more than Mr. Rogers. If you're wondering who he is, then you're either not from the United States or you just crawled out from under a rock, and I'm also honored to introduce you. Mr. Rogers, or Fred McFeely Rogers, is an icon and a legend. He was born in Latrobe, Pennsylvania, where I graduated from high school. That fact has always made me proud. He was an American television host, producer, and author who was the creator and host of the legendary children's show Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, which he filmed in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, my home for over 20 years, and also where I went to school and got my doctoral degree. Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood ran from 1968 through 2001. Wow. Talk about extraordinary. Mr. Rogers hosted all 895 episodes of the show, composed its more than 200 songs, and he was the puppeteer for the 14 characters he imagined into being on the show. Mr. Rogers changed children's television forever and became a pop icon. He transformed the way people think of the inner world of a child, and in my very strong opinion, what he did stretches far beyond the realm of childhood. The lessons he taught us are not just for kids. They're for all of us. They are about who and how we are being, about our connection to ourselves and the world around us. And that is the very essence and foundation of being healthy. I watched Mr. Rogers when I was little, and it was my favorite show. Sometimes at school, kids made fun of me for my last name, which is Rogers, but it's spelled a little differently. And I was then, as I am now, always proud to have the same last name as someone who I continue to look up to and idolize. As I grew up, I didn't stop watching Mr. Rogers. In fact, I will still find episodes or video clips online so I can watch Mr. Rogers today. Mr. Rogers, who and how he was, what he did, and the lessons he taught, like I said, they aren't only for kids, they're for all of us. And if we get present and tune in to connect to his messages, and then sincerely reflect on them so we can understand and do the work to embody those messages, then we will be healthier because we will be more connected to who we really are, to love, and to each other. And the world will absolutely be a better place and a much healthier place to live too. When I think of Mr. Rogers, hear his voice, read his words, see his image, or watch his videos or show or anything he has ever done, tears always stream from my eyes. It's an involuntary response. And I probably will not get through this episode without shedding some tears. A mentor told me once that when I'm connected to anything that is true and comes from a pure source and love, that I will notice tears uncontrollably will come. And she was right. And they always do. When I'm connected with my own divine and sacred guides, some of which are angelic, I often have tears that stream down my face, whether I'm writing, speaking, listening, or doing healing work with myself or someone else. I always know exactly why it's happening when it's happening, and I can always feel my connection to the pure source and the unconditional love that is being channeled in that moment. I really honor and love this. The same thing happens to me when I connect to Mr. Rogers in any and all ways. The tears just come. They're not solicited by me. They're not a result of a reaction I'm having. They just arrive unannounced and spontaneously. And I know I'm connected to someone and something that is so pure, holy, genuine, and true. Someone and something that comes from and is pure, unconditional love. And that's what Mr. Rogers is. And that's where he comes from. I feel one of Mr. Rogers' reminders to me and to all of us that is that all we've ever been and all we ever are is love incarnate. And if we can just remember that, we can connect to it and exist from that place anytime and all of the time, then our choices and actions will be aligned with love. If we exist and act from our connection to all that we are, which is love, then how can we be anything but healthy? And how can we ever go wrong? If we remember that we were made to be the unique individuals we are, with all of what we perceive as our flaws, quirks, and characteristics, then we can more easily stay connected to ourselves, mind, body, and spirit, instead of rejecting or disliking or judging parts of ourselves as negative. Then we can accept that all of our parts make us the unique person we are meant to be. And when we do that, we can bypass the three-dimensional person that we are and more easily connect to who and what we really are, which is something so much more and so much bigger and so much higher than the person we see and judge in the mirror. We can connect to our higher selves, or self with a capital S. We can connect to our source, and we can connect to love so much more easily. And that is what being healthy is all about. It's about being connected to yourself, mind, body, and spirit, and to your source, whatever you call it. When you stop spending your time disconnected and judging yourself or others, you can start spending that time connected to your heart and to who you really are. Then you can start to rebuild and strengthen your trust in your heart to guide you. And get ready, because life becomes extraordinary, full of magic and miracles, when you finally surrender to that trust and faith. Love all that you are, the frequency through which your divine and sacred guides, your source connects to you, will never let you down. When you're connected to that place, unconditionally loving yourself, everything becomes possible and nothing is impossible. And no matter what's going on in your physical three-dimensional world, even with your body, you will be and feel healthy. And there is no better feeling in the world. Love, connection, and health. These are the foundation of everything we are and everything we want to be, do, have, and create. If only you'll just take a moment to slow down, stop the noise, tune in, turn inward, and let yourself see, feel, and just be. This, my friends, is higher health. This is when we can stop the artificial, superficial act of being healthy in the 3D world and start being healthy on a higher level, plane, and dimension. This is when we can be healthy in a way that raises our vibration and that of the entire world around us. Mr. Rogers taught us these things through simple and clear, honest and genuine messages that I am convinced he channeled from a higher power, from his source, straight through his beautiful heart. He showed us what higher health and being healthy truly are by being the living, breathing example of the lessons he taught. He walked his walk and talked his talk. He practiced what he preached. He facilitated so much expansion, growth, and love through his work. When I think of the countless, more than millions of children and people whose lives he's touched and improved, I cannot help but cry. I am one of those children. I'm 41 years old recording this podcast. And I can say with all my heart that Mr. Rogers made a massive positive difference in my life as a child. And he continues to be a source of love, inspiration, and growth for me today. And that will never change for me in this lifetime. There are so many days when I will spontaneously start to sing his songs like, "It's such a good feeling to know you're alive. It's such a happy feeling. You're growing inside." And it always immediately lifts me up. And I will feel the tears start to flow because I know he's helping me connect to myself and to love, to everything that's real and true. And I cannot tell you how often I've done this during this year of 2024, especially, sometimes countless times a day on the days that I've felt pain or other symptoms. When we are connected in this way, we're connected to and through love. And love is one of the highest frequencies we can align with. And let me tell you, when you're connected to the frequency of love, you are not just being healthy, you're able to heal so much faster because the cells of your being are able to start realigning with that frequency. When this happens, your cells are returning to their optimal frequency, which makes them uninhabitable to disease and imbalance. The more you do this, the more you'll train your cells to vibrate at their optimal frequency instead of lowering to the suboptimal frequencies that we are surrounded with in the environment full of different kinds of toxic exposures here on planet Earth. So Mr. Rogers was teaching us to do the very healthiest things we could ever do for ourselves, to love ourselves just the way we are, to feel, be, and express all of ourselves in our uniqueness, and to follow our hearts. And when we do that, we cannot help but be healthy, be loving, and be kind. Mr. Rogers' quotes are always around me. I have many of his books and just favorite quotes around my home, on my phone, on Post-it notes, in places where I'll see them often. They each have such a beautiful message, and they each have a deeper meaning and lesson for all of us. To round out today's show, I'm going to share some of my favorites and how I interpret them. The first one is, there is no normal life that is free of pain. It's the very wrestling with our problems that can be the impetus for our growth. What a beautiful and important lesson to start teaching us when we are young. Mr. Rogers reminds us that pain will always exist. It's a normal part of life. I love this because I know it's true, and I say this often. Being healthy does not mean being completely and permanently free from pain. It means being connected to ourselves, to our source, and in turn, love, so we can navigate the pain from a place that helps us grow. The second quote: the connections we make in the course of life. Maybe that's what heaven is. I love this so much. And to me, the connections we make start with our connections to ourselves, mind, body, and spirit, and to our source. Then our connections to others are aligned with love and are more meaningful and true, and they help us continue to grow. Next quote: our society is much more interested in information than wonder, in noise rather than silence. And I feel that we need a lot more wonder and a lot more silence in our lives. I wholeheartedly agree. Let's use this as a reminder to make an effort to intentionally cut out the information, which is often misinformation and noise, and make more space for silence and wonder. This is one of the healthiest choices we can make for ourselves. Quote number 4: as human beings, our job in life is to help people realize how rare and valuable each one of us really is. That each of us has something that no one else has or ever will have, something inside that is unique to all time. It's our job to encourage each other to discover that uniqueness and to provide ways of developing its expression. This is one of my favorites. When I was working in academia and the mainstream healthcare industry, I kept this quote on a post-it on my office desk and wall and inside of my planner. I still have it with me today. Quote number 5: when we love a person, we accept him or her exactly as is, the lovely with the unlovely, the strong with the fearful, the true mixed in with the facade. And of course, the only way we can do it is by accepting ourselves that way. This is part of what being healthy is. And the way to have healthy relationships where we love and accept others unconditionally, like Mr. Rogers says, is by accepting and loving ourselves unconditionally first. I urge you to reflect on this. Do you love and accept yourself unconditionally? If not, what can you do today to start making the change? Number 6. Often out of periods of losing come the greatest strivings toward a new winning streak. Mr. Rogers reminds us that just like pain, there's no such thing as a life without loss or failure. It's part of living a life on planet Earth. If we are strong enough to keep going, loving ourselves, and growing through these times, we will get to experience the positive and amazing times that are born as a result. And the way to do that is to just be healthy by being connected to ourselves and our source, which keeps us connected to love. Number 7. Feeling good about ourselves is essential in our being able to love others. Louder for the people in the back, Mr. Rogers. Number 8. Discovering the truth about ourselves is a lifetime's work, but it's worth the effort. Amen to that. This is a lesson I am learning right now in real time at this stage and phase of my life. And when we are being healthy, we give ourselves a chance to discover who we really are more and more, like peeling back the layers of an onion. And from my personal experience, let me say that it is the best time of my life. Number 9, there are 3 ways to ultimate success. The first way is to be kind. The second way is to be kind. The third way is to be kind. I think that is so beautiful. And in a world with so much negativity and polarization and different opinions, let's please be kind. Number 10, these last few really get me. Knowing that we can be loved exactly as we are gives us all the best opportunity for growing into the healthiest of people. Amen. Something we all need to hear and remember daily. Number 11, you are a very special person. There is only one like you in the whole world. There's never been anyone exactly like you before, and there will never be again. Only you. And people can like you exactly as you are. Yes, they can. And if they cannot, they are not your people. So you keep on shining and don't you dare stop being you because of anyone else. That's self abandonment, and that's not healthy. You can be liked, but not at the expense of your values, not at the expense of who you are. And finally, you've made this day a special day by just your being you. There's no person in the whole world like you. And I like you just the way you are. And to all of you who are listening, I like all of you just the way you are. It was always my dream to meet Mr. Rogers and Mr. McFeely, played by Mr. David Newell, in person. Unfortunately, Mr. Rogers left the planet before I had the chance to meet him, but I did get the honor of meeting his wife, Mrs. Joanne Rogers. She was a research participant in one of the studies I was working on while I was in graduate school at the University of Pittsburgh. And she came in every year for her clinic visit. Everyone loved her so much. The entire staff used to fight over who got to do her visit. So the staff took turns, and each year, someone different got to spend time with her. I will never forget the day I met her. I was not assigned to do her visit, but everyone I worked with knew how much I love Mr. Rogers and how much I wanted to meet her. So when she came in for her visit, I was in my office doing work with the door closed, and I heard a knock at my door. I said, "Come in," and turned toward the door. And all of a sudden, in walked Mrs. Rogers. And I got so excited, I jumped out of my chair and ran to her. She grabbed my hands and squeezed them lovingly, and I literally jumped up and down with her. And then she gave me a hug and told me it was so nice to meet. And wow, Mrs. Rogers was truly everything you could have imagined her to be and more. She was like the embodiment of love, warmth, and kindness. Even her hands were warm, and I swear she smelled like gingerbread cookies. It was one of the best days ever, and I still feel so lucky that I got to experience that moment with her. So to Mr. and Mrs. Rogers and Mr. McFeely, who I mentioned earlier, but in case you're wondering and aren't aware, he is a beloved character played by Mr. David Newell, who will always be known for his speedy deliveries. I know you can hear me. And Mr. David Newell, I'm going to do my very best to get this message to you personally. I just want to say to all three of you, with my whole heart and soul, and on behalf of the entire planet, thank you. Thank you for making such an extraordinary positive impact on the world that will continue to have a ripple effect on Earth forever. Thank you for all the important lessons you teach us and our children. Thank you for your love, and thank you for loving us into being. Thank you for making a difference in my childhood and my adulthood. It is truly in part because of the three of you that I remember every day that I'm good enough just the way I am. And it inspires me and motivates me. And I will never be able to express how I feel appropriately in words, but I know you will be able to feel my love and gratitude. And I love you all so much. Thank you, my podcast family, for joining me for this extra special episode that I've wanted to do my whole life. I really hope you can feel the love and positive energy that I've infused into this episode. Remember, the world needs you and your light. Trust yourself and your heart. And the way to do that is by, like Mr. Rogers taught us, staying connected to yourself, mind, body, and spirit, and to your source, which keeps you connected to love, all that you are. And that's all that being healthy truly is. See you next time. Thank you so much for listening to Higher Health with Dr. Elizabeth Rogers. If you enjoyed the show today, it would mean so very much to me if you subscribe to the show and leave an honest, positive review. You can easily subscribe by going to the upper right-hand corner of Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Odyssey, or wherever you listen to podcasts, and press the plus sign in the upper right-hand corner. Also, be sure to sign up for my email list and join my private Substack community to get even more content, value, and support on your health and well-being journey. You'll find these links in the show notes. Sending you so much positive and supportive energy today. I really hope you can feel it.